April 1st, 1999. It was 1:09 a.m. My son, nowhere to be seen. I thought I heard a click of a window. I sprung up. I had a horrible headache. I knew in that circumstance that something horrible was wrong. I only had the headaches when something bad was wrong. So I sprung out of bed. I did the fatherly duty of running in my son's room, making sure he was okay, only to find that he wasn't even in there. So when I found he wasn't even in there, I got dressed and I walked around. I walked around in usually cold air. It was only 35 degrees out. I can remember the feeling of the coldness. I can remember the feeling of the coldness outside. I walked around until it was 5 a.m. all around our property. Back then I used to have a 16-acre property with a bit of forest. But I didn't find him. 5 a.m. rolled around and I started making some calls. I knew it was still early in the morning. And a lot of people, they wouldn't bother showing up. But I think you'll find that people did answer these calls. I called my mother, nothing. I called my father, nothing. I called my younger brother, nothing. I called my older sister. She answered. My sister Amelia answered and she told me. She told me that my son has been crying to her for days. Saying something's out there. And they said, don't tell your father. So he apparently told her about this thing outside that promised to hurt him if he said anything to me. But apparently, saying something to her did that too. So what did I do? I sat in shock for 5 minutes, and I called the police because I knew I wanted my son back. So that's what I did. They were no help. They were no help at all. I called them. They had no idea what to do. They said there wasn't any prints anywhere. They said there wasn't any forced entry. There wasn't even any sign of him ever leaving or ever being there. And I told them, you're out of your goddamn mind. Nonetheless, 8 a.m. rolled around. I hopped in my car and I bolted out of there. I drove all over town. I looked for him. I found myself at this old gas station at the side of the road. I pulled in to get some gas, and I saw this man, couldn't see his face. He had a hat draped over his face, leaning against his car. And he said something to me. He went, hey, sir. I saw something interesting last night. I stopped pumping my gas and I walk up to him and I say, what? What did you see last night? And he told me, oh man, I saw this three-legged human guy with see-through skin. And he was driving around this weird-shaped truck. And I said, oh, you're seeing something now? Well, have you know, my son disappeared last night. And my older sister's talking about this thing. So you're saying there's a three-legged clear human? And this guy's like, yeah, there is. This guy seemed a little out of his mind, but Based off the information I was just told, I believed him. So I wasn't looking. I went to my local Walmart because they carried guns. And I bought everything. I bought 12 guns. They had to bring the cops in there to make sure that, I wasn't planning a mass shooting or something. But then I left. I left and I hunted. I went all over our small town in Missouri. And I didn't find him. I didn't find him. For 3 weeks. For 3 weeks I tried looking for my son, but I didn't find him. Just when I was about to give up because I physically couldn't bear his pain anymore. I had my whole family helping me at that point. I finally found him. I found his hat beside a waterfall. His lucky hat that he always wore. It had a photo of me, him, and his mother sewn onto it. She tragically passed because of cancer. And then I knew. All I had to do was go through the waterfall. I did so. And I found 6 of those. I found 6 of those things. And what did I do? I killed them all to find my son. Each and every one of them. Turns out he's hanging from the ceiling, vines grabbing him by the arms. I said, son, I'm gonna get you down. Son, I'm gonna get you down. I shot those vines down and I caught my son. 2 days ago, he took his life. And when he died, he became one of those things. And ever since 2 days ago, I've been broken.